Hello, and welcome back to another Cabincast Ramble with Oliver and Tan.
Hello.
We are here to talk about more Steven Universe. Part 17, part 17. Yeah. Part 17. Last time we did Keystone Motel and Onion Friend.
And we did.
This time historical fiction, friendship, maybe Nightmare Hospital. It's slightly more realistic than us doing historical fiction was last week. But we will have to see.
Still unlikely.
Still unlikely, indeed.
I know from last episode I mentioned a fan fiction last episode.
You did.
And now I know the name of it.
Ah.
It's called Don't Even Bother, and it's on fanfiction.net. And it's pretty cool.
There you go.
There you go. Continuity, wow. That's what we call it.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed it is. So yeah, historical fiction.
Historical fiction.
Which is another one of our happening during the fallout of Cry for Help episodes.
It's true. It does have a bit to do with it.
There's a little bit, but that's also the background more than it's the main thing.
Yeah, it's like a more sort of thematic aspect rather than on screen.
Yeah, indeed.
But we do get to see a lot of Jamie.
We do. This one's a Jamie episode, and we don't get many of them.
No. But Jamie and Steven together are just lovely. I love their interactions.
They are adorable.
I love them. But indeed, Jamie, as we know, being an aspiring actor, has finally perhaps begun his acting career.
It does seem that way, yeah.
Because he's
go for it.
Oh, because he's gonna be in a play.
Yeah.
And that play is sponsored by Mayor Dewey.
Yeah, The Tale of William Dewey.
Indeed.
The founder, supposedly at least. Does seem that way actually, based on what Pearl says, of Beach City.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like he's just gonna be in it.
No.
Kind of seems like he's doing everything.
Yes. Pretty much every role.
Yeah. It's quite the ask, some might say.
I guess Mayor Dewey didn't splash out on the budget too much.
No, which, is pretty Mayor Dewey to do. But yeah, and he's like, oh, if you want to be in it, Steven, come to the auditions and stuff. And Steven does a very bad voice impression.
Very good one. It's a great accent.
It is an accent. He's not wrong.
Not of somewhere I know, but or anyone knows.
It's an accent. From where?
But it is one.
I don't know. Acting.
It's absolutely what D&D is like sometimes, and I love it.
It's true. But yeah, cut forward to the studio.
It's true. Up to the auditions. And yeah, Steven's the only one who turned up. But that's okay.
It's fine. So yeah, it's just Jamie and Stephen and Mayor Dewey. And yeah, they've got the script.
Meju is obviously not auditioning, but
No, he's not. He's there to make sure everything goes according to his plan.
Exactly.
And he wrote the script.
Indeed. And then we start the play, and the play is.
We do.
You know, it's a great play, I guess.
It's very
It's very play.
Embellished. As
Good
well.
word.
Yeah, this is not probably how it went down, but it's how it goes down according to Mayor Dewey. So, he's a very dashingly handsome captain and all that stuff. It is cool that we get like a different art style during these scenes. It's like still very much like Steven Universe, but like there's more detail to like the characters and everything.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. And it's talking about how they are all heading on a journey. He's got a first mate called Buddy.
Yeah, we see him a bit more later. Buddy Budwick. In another episode.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, then it seems to lose all sense of reason because Mayor Dewey turns into a 50-foot giant and walks the boat safely to shore when they're in a storm. Which sounds like Mayor Dewey just being absolutely ridiculous, but turns out, no. It just wasn't Mayor Dewey who was the 50-foot giant. But that part did actually kind of happen.
That's true. It just depends who you ask, I guess.
Yeah. Because I imagine that if you... Because I always thought that it was just him, like, completely embellishing and everything, but maybe he pretty much wrote it as a play from whatever historical text he's got. But Captain Dewey at the time had absolutely no idea what had happened. Because, I mean, yeah, kind of fair enough. And tried to make as much logical sense, which involved just being like, and then I walked the boat to shore instead of these magic rock people.
Likely it would probably have been like, the ship was approaching troubled waters, and lo, William Dewey was gone, and in his place was a 50-foot giant. And so it's
Indeed.
like, oh, right.
Exactly, something like that.
But that was actually obsidian.
Yeah, it was. And so it's pretty cool. Because is that the first time we quote unquote see obsidian?
Yeah, I guess it might be.
I think it is. Apart from like, all the time and the shine, but
yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember another time because we've never had Steven and all the other gems fuse at this point.
Not yet. That happens in the last episode.
Indeed. So yeah, it must be the first time that we see Obsidian then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steven likes to play.
He does. But Steven's likes everything. So that makes sense. Jamie is a bit less enthusiastic about this play.
Yeah.
Understandably, he wants to perhaps see this character go through some kind of hardship.
He's a bit of a perfect character.
Yeah. It's a bit of a William Dewey.
Yeah, a bit of a... I don't remember what the equivalent of a Mary Sue is for a male character, or if there even is one, but I'm sure there must be one.
I don't know.
But yeah, he seems to be like great at everything, and he is no real flaws or anything. Oh, a Gary stew or a Larry stew. Yeah, that makes sense.
Gary
Um,
Stew.
yeah. But I was expecting this. I searched Mary Sue male version, and in the images things, one of the first pictures that shows up is Ray. So for goodness sake, guys.
Ray's not a man.
He's no, but as a Mary Sue.
Oh, right. I don't think that's true either.
Nope, it's not really, but people are still sad. So there we are. But yeah, and he's like he's just he's got no flaws. He doesn't struggle. Everything just seems to go super well for him, and that's doesn't particularly make for good and interesting storytelling.
Yeah. Plus, the play's
So,
about 30 seconds long.
plus, it's rather short for how thick the booklet seems to be. Um, cut to home where Perla's alone.
Yeah.
And just kind of sitting on the couch instead of being with the others or in her room or anything. And Stephen just, starts to talk to her about the play.
Yeah, this is quite a nice moment.
It is.
But,
Cause,
Pearl, is feeling pretty bad, but upon the mention of William Dewey, she kind of, perks up and perhaps she has a chance to help
to do
in some
something.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But we can see that Pearl has acknowledged that she was in the wrong.
Yeah.
She's admitting that she's someone who made a mistake as well.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It is good. That she is like, I don't think it was ever in question that she knew it, but just to hear her actually acknowledge it's still good.
Yeah. But upon reading
Yeah.
the play, she's unsurprised as to she's a little surprised to what Mayor Dewey seems to think happened because she was there.
Yeah, exactly.
And together they can rewrite this story.
And so they do.
Indeed.
And Jamie much prefers this version.
Yeah. Weirdly, Jamie decides that Stephen should play the main role and he should just play everyone else. Even though he's the one who wants an acting career.
Yeah.
You think he'd want to be the headlining act, but...
You think, but no. Then again...
probably only Jamie could operate all of the things that they had going on.
And do all the other smaller parts.
It's true, it's a lot.
Did you watch the 39 Steps in London?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Because that was, you had the two main characters, and then you had the two other actors who did, like every other part. And it was so many parts. And it was absolutely hilarious. It was very, very funny. I think my favorite one was that when they kept looking out the window and they'd put up like a fake lamppost and pretend to be outside. And then the actors sometimes they'd like almost look out the window, and so they'd be like halfway the lamppost and then stop. And then they wouldn't actually look out the window, and then they'd run off the stage again. Oh. That was many years ago.
That was a very long time ago. I don't remember it that
That was
well.
like that was like 2015 or 14.
Yeah, it must have been something
Ah,
like that.
yeah, cool, cool. So, yeah, the play.
The play. They do indeed.
Uh,
Pearl comes to watch as well.
May, Pearl comes to watch Mayor Dewey, who have we acknowledged that he seemed to have a thing for Pearl yet?
Yes.
Because he does. I think we did, didn't we? And he
Remember
still does here.
in the EMP one,
Yes,
he specifically calls Pearl the hot one.
that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, so he sits next to her again, and then she moves. Um, and then Lars and Sadie also there, which is cool.
Lars probably
And
reluctantly, to be fair.
probably, but he seems fairly chill, at this point. Um, and then Nanafua and uh one of the daughters, and then the two Chip children. Everyone's name has escaped me today, apparently.
Petey and Ronaldo?
Petey and Ronaldo. Yeah, that's who I meant.
The Chip children.
Yeah, and they're kind of sitting on these, the classic fold out chairs that you have at some of these kind of events. Though they are on the beach, which is a pretty great setting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like if I was in a place that did amateur productions on the beach, then I'd be there all the time. So why wouldn't you go? As long
That's
as it
true.
wasn't, raining or super windy or anything, I guess. But the weather
You'd
was
be able
good.
to
It'd be
watch him
amazing.
for free by just being
Exactly.
there.
Yeah. But anyway,
And then the play
Jamie's kind of
begins.
a bit. Yeah. Jamie's a bit nervous,
Jamie
which
is a bit nervous.
good if you've got absolutely no nerves. Uh, you're doing something wrong. Should always be at least a little bit nervous. But yeah, more so in this case for Jamie because this is either gonna, at least in his mind, make or break his acting career. Um, but yeah, and they're just kind of like, huh, 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 and then the play begins.
That was great.
Nice.
That
I'm
was
glad.
very good.
Awesome. This is good to know. But yeah, then the play begins with Stephen and Jamie on boat.
On the boat. It's been you can definitely tell it's been written with a slightly more flowery language.
It's oh Captain, my Captain. Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed.
you can tell Pearl kind of wrote that.
Yeah. It's very poetic.
Indeed. And Pearl's acting like, the mum and the children's nativity play, like, yeah, hello, that's my boy.
Yeah, it's very sweet. It's a very like parenty moment.
Yeah, and he like totally goes with it by waving as well. It's
Oh,
great.
because he's
Such a good
Stevens.
moment.
Of course he does. And Mr. Smiley's showing up now as well.
I see.
He's in the shot too. But yeah, it's very cute. It's kind of one of those like subtle. Yes, hello, I'm here doing the acting. Please do not disrupt the immersion, but I'm nice enough to wave. Um, it's not flat out like reception where half the kids would be like, "Hello, mother,
Hi,
it is me, your
Mum.
child." Um, wait, what was I doing? There's a song. Oh, But the play continues.
Yeah, William Dewey is basically. Oh, he's in a sad state. The ocean's way bigger than he thought, and everyone's been calling him stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh no!"
Indeed.
Mayor Dewey is like, "Didn't write this. What's going on?"
I did, yeah. But yeah.
And lo and behold, in the play that is, the crystal gems appear.
Yeah, they do. And you get Jamie playing all of them. It's amazing.
Yep. Plays all of them. Plays Pearl by just putting a party hat on his nose. Plays Garnet by putting a cardboard box on his head. And Amethyst is just a mop.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the like hand movements and things he does for Pearl are completely on point.
Absolutely.
It's incredibly flamboyant and amazing. Which, obviously makes sense because, when you're drawing and animating, you can make people do very similar things, even though they actually might look very different. But yeah, it's very cool. And they're like, "Hey, get out. Please leave, thank you."
a little more flamboyantly, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Or at least Pearlers.
Yeah, Garnet's,
Garnet's quite upfront and firm.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie's met Garnet, so he knows exactly sort of.
Yeah. Jamie was once in love with Garnet.
It's true.
Or at least he thought he was. But yeah. And they're like, "Yeah, this place isn't really for humans. Could you please go? Thank you." And he's like, "Well, damn, I guess I'm a failure."
Yeah.
And then he breaks his ship.
Indeed.
Yeah, and more people are here now. Like Sadie's mum, in fact, I think, who we won't meet until a couple of episodes' time.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we have met her already.
She was
But not
the
as Sadie's
male.
mum. Yeah.
The male lady.
The male lady. When
The
Jamie
male
was not
lady.
here previously.
The post
lady. And there's also Eye Patch Mustache Man.
Eye Patch Mustache.
I can't remember his name, but he's got an eye patch and a mustache and a briefcase.
I think that's like one of the recurring joke characters. It's just like Briefcase Man or something. Isn't he?
Yeah, he may well be. Suitcase Sam.
Suitcase Sam.
That's his name.
Of course.
There's a brown suit along with an eye patch covering his left eye, although in Onion Gang it was revealed that his left eye is perfectly healthy.
I'm excited for that episode.
Mm-hmm. And then Buck Dewey is also there. And it's like, wow, Dad, it's pretty embarrassing. And everyone else is laughing, and Mayor Dewey's just kind of dying from embarrassment, even though it's, like what, 15 hand embarrassment or something, because Beach City's been a city for quite a while. But yeah.
Yeah, but
going back doesn't go quite. Indeed, low.
Suddenly,
Yes.
The biggest storm.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
That'll be a storm, yes.
And doth a big tentacle creature.
Yes, probably a gem creature.
Some kind of gem creature.
attacks the boat. And it takes Buddy.
Yeah. But Buddy gives him a good few words of encouragement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But
what
from
is this?
beyond doth oh crud. From beyond doth horizon a giant woman appears.
Woman. Indeed.
Which is actually just a big hand that comes from the ceiling.
It is.
And does indeed carry the ship to land, just like in the original play said. But
It does.
it is it wasn't William Dewey that did it.
It was not.
It was not.
And it says the same thing as before, you know. Don't recommend staying. It's very dangerous. But he's like, no, I'll stay. I'll do it.
Yeah, he realizes that resilience is a virtue.
Yeah.
Even if he has no other virtues.
Yeah, indeed. And I'll leave you to ramble for just a moment while I disappear.
Oh no. Okay, so all right. So yeah, the giant woman obsidian does indeed warn William Dewey about the dangers, and does indeed say that the crystal gems, which are all four of them together, are fused into the giant woman obsidian, may or may not help and or interfere with the thingy. And there's a good little joke right at the end where William Dewey is going to name the city in honor of Buddy, his long lost crewmate. Poster. Sus. But yeah, it turns out he's alive, and so he calls it Beach City instead, which is the most generic name for a city on the beach I've ever heard. And then it advertises Dewey for mayor, because of course. Mayor Dewey, having written the play where he was, had no flaws. Gary Stew? What's that? Never mind. Is surprised that everyone's applauding a character that seemed to be not perfect, and perhaps, maybe, just maybe, understands that being someone who overcomes struggles is better than just being someone who's great.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. It's a cool message.
Mm-hmm.
And the townies love it.
They do.
Cheering
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if you've got someone who's a perfect person, no one can relate to that because no one's perfect. If you've got a person who goes through struggles and difficulties, if they're your own difficulties, you'll relate to them more. But any difficulties, most people will be able to relate to some extent. And so to see someone overcome their troubles and their problems, largely is always going to be very cathartic or good, and because it makes you feel like they can do that, I can do that. You know, which is what people like to see. So, yeah, it's a hit. And everyone's very happy, and it's clearly helped, because everyone's kind of cheering Dewey at the end.
Yeah, not only helped the mayor, but also helped Jamie's career.
Indeed, yeah, he's getting all the signatures from the townies.
Yeah. Mayor Dewey wants him to make more plays. Potentially.
Yeah. Indeed, he does. And there ends almost the episode.
Indeed, there's a little bit at the end where, Pearl didn't write the campaign slogan.
Hmm.
And Steven says art doesn't always need a reason. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, weird. Isn't the reason to get people to vote for Mayor Dewey if there's a Mayor Dewey campaign slogan at the end? Never mind.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. But yeah. And there you have it, folks. That was historical fiction.
Historical friction.
So
a much better episode than I remember it being.
It's a fun explanation to show you kind of like how Beach City was founded. And yeah, the Jamie Stevens stuff is it's very funny.
Yeah. It's like the oh, it's not exactly like it, but it's got that sort of amateur theatre like the Avatar episode.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
The Ember Island players. There's even a moment which always makes me think of the bit where Buddy first mate Buddy falls into the waves. And then has to move his feet at the last second because they're still in shot. Which is like when you have Jet, and the like rock falls on him, but it's like falling all over the place. He has to like dive to actually be under it, and then he has to put his feet in. Just another random thing that I remembered for some reason.
Sure.
But yeah, this play is not hours and hours long.
No,
and is accurate to most extents, and while it might end on a campaign slogan, does not end on a propaganda message, so it's better.
I suppose so.
But like Sokka said, the effects were pretty good. Whereas they weren't particularly good here, but they're very clever with how they did things.
Yeah, very clever.
To keep the budget low.
It's always nice when a show,
that's
instead of having like infinite budget, just has to work around a small one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Working around limitations is just the best way of doing something.
Yeah. Indeed. It was always really fun when I did the musicals at like secondary school, and how there's only so much space that you could have, but you needed all these different like sets and how that would be done and sorted. And what we ended up having was we had these big pieces of wood, like columns on wheels, and they'd be painted on different sides with different things to show the different places, and you could spin them to show the the right things for the time. That's pretty cool. But then if you go to the West End, you'll see some very impressive sets, like the Billy Elliot one where the whole bed lifts up out of the floor. That's pretty
Yeah.
neat. I feel like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one was pretty good as well, but I can't actually remember anything specifically off the top of my head.
I'm just remembering the horse puppet from Warhorse.
Oh, the horse puppets in Warhorse were incredible.
Yeah.
So I went into that being like, I don't like Warhorse. It's too sad. I had to listen to the audiobook while Mum and Ed were listening to it in the car, and then they forced me to go and watch it in the cinema. And it's like, it's good both times, but I didn't want to see it. It's too sad. But the play was just so well done and so like moving and so impressive that I was just like, nope, happy I watched that. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, the horses are puppeteered by people. Three,
Yeah.
I think, people. And they do all the movement. They kind of wear similar colors to the horses, and they make all the sounds of the horses as well.
Yeah. The
And
one I remember, it's like a wooden sort of like a frame, and then they
yeah,
have dark suits on, so it blends in with the ground.
mm-hmm.
And they
It
sort
blends
of
in, but you can like still see them, but very quickly you don't see them. You just see the horse.
yeah, it's really good.
It's really impressive. Speaking of something else that's really impressive, I don't know if this segue works. Friendship.
Perfect. That was good.
Yeah, this is a decent episode. It kind of works. Yeah. So, um,
Friendship is a
yeah,
good episode.
friendship is a good episode. We start on best character. Uh, Peridot.
Yeah.
Who appears to be trying to rebuild a teleporter portal pad thing again.
A what pad?
That's what they're called, a warp pad.
Yeah, the Galaxy Warp.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well done, Tan. You've passed the test.
Oh,
I
golly.
knew that
Thank
all
you.
along, and I was just making. Yeah, no, I forgot. But the gems show up, and Pearl is like, "Yes, haha! I was right. I knew it. I knew she must come
Yeah,
back
we
here
figure out why,
eventually."
but
Yep. Yep.
for now, Pearl is just seeming quite desperate.
Mhm.
Steven, on the other hand, just is like very, very enthusiastic to see Peridot again. She's just a friend,
Yeah. Yeah.
or a friend who has yet to realize that she is a friend.
She's a friend. Yeah. He kind of like mocks her, does the like near thing that she did back at her that she did last time. Um. But yeah, the others are all kind of still. Garnet's like starts, so then Pearl butts in, and it's still a bit of a mess.
Yeah, Pearl's just interrupting everyone.
Yeah.
Probably so she can she's trying to get back into Garnet's good books.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, if I do everything to catch Peridot, bam, you'll forgive
I
me.
should do it.
But you won't. That's not how it works. But that's
Yep.
what she's
That's
trying.
not the point. It's the logic that she's currently functioning with, which is perfectly valid logic for someone who is, desperately trying to get back in someone's good books.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not gonna fly.
Yeah, she wasn't there for all the bits where, like in the episodes before, where we were going through how important fusion is to Garnet.
No.
So perhaps she doesn't. Perhaps maybe she thinks that the issue Garnet has is that they are wasting time instead of trying to find Peridot.
Yeah. Maybe.
Potentially.
But yeah, either way, it's what she's trying to do isn't actually going to help.
No. Yet again, Peridot makes reference to the cluster. She says the planet has an expiration date.
Yep. It's very concerning. Then she fires off an energy blast. Which almost crushes everyone, but luckily Steven saves the day.
Yeah. He's gotten very good at using the shield now.
Mm-hmm.
But Pearl is sort of just...
She attacks by herself.
Indeed.
And
They've forgotten about the whole team thing.
Yep.
Garnet, presumably using future vision, knows that it's not going to work.
Yep.
And we see that sort of tractor beam thing.
Yep.
Which you can use to... There's like a gem tech or something that you can use to throw things.
Yeah.
And it's not quite as... It doesn't seem as strong as the one that Aquamarine uses later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's enough to throw Pearl into Steven, which means the shield stops, so Garnet has to grab it. So Amethyst goes after Peridot. She Naruto runs a bit, and then she Sonics a bit. And does not manage to hit Peridot because Peridot gets out of the way. And like calls her on her fingers, and it's kind of cool, but also very disturbing.
Yeah, a little bit.
And she jumps onto another warp pad, but it doesn't work because it's broken.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going well.
Well.
But then Pearl and Garnet both crash into each other, and Peridot manages to fly away on her helicopter blades.
Yeah, they messed up there. They absolutely just drop the ball at every stage.
Yeah, they do. Because when Amethyst and Garnet and Steven are involved, the plan is working. They almost get her again, but Pearl is still not quite in sync with the rest of them. And Garnet is also not in sync with Pearl.
No.
And that means Peridot it's like, well, feel kind of bad, but not too bad. Goodbye. Escapes again. They have to head back to the house, and everyone looks pretty dejected at this point. But Pearl's like, it's okay, it's fine. That was bad, but it went wrong, but we can do better.
Yeah, but Pearl's, I guess desperately optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have figured out a way to track Peridot.
They have.
Warping.
Yeah. Her escape pod seems to be connected to Peridot herself, so it will automatically tell them where she is, which seems to have taken quite some doing, to be fair, because Pearl has probably been working non-stop on this.
Yeah.
The next line she says is very poignant about, and once we do, we can close this chapter and finally move on.
Oof. That's
Which again shows exactly,
obviously
she does. Yeah, because obviously she does want to capture Peridot, but also it is we capture Peridot. I'll have made it up to Garnet. Everything will be okay. But again, gems and emotions being murky waters at best. Yeah,
Not quite that
don't
simple.
quite, not quite that simple. Hasn't quite caught on to that yet.
Yeah, Amethyst tries to get them to talk together, but before
Yeah.
she's able to, the thing happens, and Pearl is like, "Well, hey, it's time to go again." Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
Even Amethyst knows that this isn't going to make up for anything.
No.
Although Stephen doesn't quite understand, I guess, just yet.
No. Stephen doesn't quite get it. Yeah.
But
It's
nevertheless,
another great. Yeah. Go for it. Sorry.
nevertheless, they quickly warp to the old ship. I don't know if we've been here before, but we definitely come back multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't remember whether we've been there. I don't think so.
I don't think we. Well, this is it's Thingy's ship, isn't it?
Yeah, centipedals.
Centipedal ship. But yeah, I don't believe we've been here yet because Stephen doesn't have his. Oh, he does have his healing spit. Did he heal her gem yet? I don't think so.
That episode hasn't happened.
No, because that's diamond, so that's much later. Hmm. So yeah, I think we've been here with them yet.
So yeah, I guess this is the first time.
Yeah, based on Amethyst and Steven's reaction, I don't think we've been here before as well.
Oh, right.
So both seem like, whoa. Yeah, I mean, he asks what it is. And yeah, this is an ancient interplanetary gem vessel that Homeworld used to travel across the cosmos before the warp paths were built. Thank you, Pearl. Yeah, that's what Pearl said.
Great. And again, Pearl is interrupting everyone.
Yes. Still being very, very eager to get it done.
But yeah, Peridot's there on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
And taunts them.
Isn't too stupid, yeah.
Pearl seems to think, that the Peridot's trying to fly this ship back, but that's not quite what's happening.
Nope.
Peridot has rigged it to trap.
She has.
Yeah, it's
She fires a bunch of lasers at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This bit's actually in the Stevens trauma section of the hospital episode. Yeah, Growing Pains.
Ooh.
Where the lasers are fired.
Then.
Yeah, you got no choice. Sorry.
I mean, it makes sense. They are assumedly death lasers, so that's pretty scary.
They are indeed death lasers. The severity of the situation is kind of overshadowed by the emotion of the situation. Yeah.
Indeed. So, we have not had one since Keeping It Together was the last trauma, so Stephen's done all right for like a couple of weeks.
Oh, good.
So, number 24. Trend. Ship. Death lasers.
Death lasers.
But it is also his third shield, which is really tiring him out.
Yeah, he's not having a good time there.
And then there's a bunch of like spiky spikes as well. And then
Yeah,
there's
I'm
a
not sure why
clearly a
they're on the
hologram of
ship.
Peridot. I don't know. But Pearl just goes for it, and Garnet's like, Pearl, and he's getting pretty angry.
Yeah, Pearl is seeming very, very desperate at this point. She's just swiping at the hologram
Yeah.
just constantly, as it just sort of smiles and laughs,
Yeah.
smirks.
That's what it does.
Yeah, and we think perhaps this is a chance to talk because Garnet and Pearl are there together,
Mm-hmm.
and Pearl is starting to admit that this is her doing, but then whoops a daisy, they
It's another
fall in a
trap.
pit.
Mm-hmm. And luckily, Amethyst manages to grab Steven,
Yeah,
but not the others.
no, it's like Team Rocket, isn't it, with Peridot? It's like, haha,
Yeah.
I've outsmarted you again. It's
Yep.
like a sort of monster of the week, except this is just the one episode.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's great. Peridot does remind me a bit of Jesse and James from Team Rocket.
Yeah. I can kind of see that now that you mention it. Yeah.
The only difference is that she says clods instead of twerps.
Yeah. That's another. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. She feels like she's maybe slightly more dangerous to begin with. But then obviously ends up being on their side by the end, whereas might mean my Pokemon knowledge is rather limited, but Team Rocket are almost always antagonists, but they're never really dangerous antagonists.
Yeah, only very occasionally.
For the most of the part, it seems to be like, oh, you silly Team Rocket, here you are again, messing with the plans. Oh, gee darn it, here it goes again.
Yeah, most of the time they're like, "Oh, hey Ash, how's it going? We have got
Yeah,
Pikachu now. Oh no, Pikachu
yeah.
can use
And then,
electricity."
yeah, we're blasting off again. And then occasionally it'll be like, hang on, no, that seems bad. No, don't. We Team Rocket do not support this action. Um,
And then in Sun
but
and
yeah,
Moon, they go ahead and get legitimate jobs because that's a great series.
I have not seen it.
They become food vendors.
That makes perfect sense. I can totally see that. But anyway, Garnet and Pearl are trapped.
Garnet and Pearl are trapped. Amethyst and Steven are okay.
Yeah, and they're like, we need to get them out. And then Amethyst is like, wait, actually, let them be trapped.
Let them
Not
be trapped. They can
exactly, but
talk.
kind of. But they are talking, which is good. Oh,
It's,
Craig, for flip's sake. It's fine,
it,
still got Yark.
it's better than. I mean, it's like if we remember at the end of Cry for Help, Garnet would just ignore Peridot.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
then by Keystone Motel, they were not exactly talking, but Garnet would just be like, no,
Not now, yeah.
I do not want to talk yet. And now they're actually discussing things. Pearl admits that, yeah, she wanted to catch Peridot in order to try and make up for it.
Mm-hmm.
But Garnet exclaims that it's not really about Peridot anymore. It's about fusion.
Yeah.
And it's about that betrayal of trust.
Mm-hmm.
But
Indeed.
then the walls start caving in. Oh
They
no.
do. And it's good because again, whilst this is obviously entirely Pearl's fault, um, The fact that Garnet hasn't been willing to talk about it either has meant that it's clearly, gone on longer, which is absolutely fair enough. But from them working as a team point of view, means that the fault does fall on both of them.
I suppose.
Because, like, all the times when Garnet's like, "No, Pearl, don't do this. Why would you do this?" It's like, you do know, Garnet. You know why she's doing this. And yeah, while I don't blame her at all for not wanting to talk about it, I mean, again, she's got her future vision, so surely she can also see that, or maybe it wouldn't. Maybe that's why she didn't talk about it. Maybe future vision was like, nope, talking about it's not going to help. So maybe that's
Perhaps.
why.
It reminds me of in Reformed, where
Mhm.
Amethyst is like, it's my form, like, it doesn't have anything to do with you. And then Garnet says, well, when it affects the strength of the team, that's what matters at this
Exactly.
point.
Yeah,
But
that's kind
here
of
it
what I
is
was trying to get
affecting the strength of the team.
at. Yeah, that was a much better way of summarizing what I was trying to say than how I said it. Nice. But yeah, they are still talking, even though they are being crushed. And Pearl keeps apologizing, and Garnet doesn't really want to hear it because it's just excuses.
Paul
But
tries to ask how
how she
how
can fix it.
she can make Garnet to forgive her, and Garnet
Yeah,
just straight up says, "No, you can't do that."
that's not how it works.
And I get,
Yeah.
yeah, one person can't make the other person forgive, but at the same time, forgiveness is something that you know. Forgiveness is like pretty much always something that you should do.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily saying that, like, to forgive someone isn't to say that what they did was okay. It's to move forward mentally from it,
yeah. It's
to
to
not
stop
have to stop
being in
thinking
that
about it.
place. Yeah.
But Garnet
Yeah,
doesn't
you
want to
can
move forward.
exactly. And again, I feel like this is why this does fall on both of them a bit more by this point. Because you can have a falling out with someone and then move past it and still look back on it years later and be like, wow, yeah, I did that. Can't believe I did that. That was really terrible. I'm still really sorry about that. And the other person be like, yeah, it's cool. I agree. It was. Don't understand why you did it either, but we've moved on, and that's good. Doesn't mean that everything was always okay. But if you want to, enjoy your life, then you don't want to hold on to every little thing that's ever been held against you, or vice versa. It's much better to just, you know, well, on the one side, try and apologize for things as much as possible and give people as many reasons to forgive you as possible. Realistically.
Yeah,
But yeah, on the other flip side of that, just to be forgiving. Um, Obviously, there's exceptions to that rule, but if people are your friends, then if they hurt you most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, it's not intentional.
generally, it's possible to forgive someone, like almost anyone, but some of the time, it is not something for the other person. It's just for yourself, so you can move forward with your life.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between um outright forgiveness and like accepting how something is and moving on from it. Both like work, but like I imagine like there's potentially, if people said certain things to you, there wouldn't be like any way that you could forgive that, but it's not something at the same time that you want to be reflecting on day in and day out.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Would you say "turn the other cheek" is a good
Yeah,
saying to reflect this?
sure.
What does that
Yeah.
come from anyway? That's obviously from the
Um,
Bible, isn't
I
it? But I
want to
don't know
say
what
the
it quite
Bible.
means.
Um, I think the quote. I think it's from Jesus. I think the quote something like, "If a man slaps you on one cheek, you should turn your cheek to let him slap your other cheek as well." Um, but you know what? I'm gonna look it up
Sure,
because
sure.
as a church human, I feel like I shouldn't misquote this.
It's something I do
Uh,
not know whether it's entirely relevant here or not, but
I feel like it's
unsure.
so. I think you're right. So the phrase originates from the Sermon on the Mount in the New Testament in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, and it's an alternative for um, an eye for an eye. Okay, so an eye for an eye is given by Jesus, and this is in the Sermon on the Mount. Uh, you have heard it said that it was an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, but I say to you, do not resist the one who is evil. But if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if anyone would sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. Give to the one who begs from you, and do not refuse the one who would borrow from you. Um, Similar to the Sermon on the Plain and Gospel of Luke chapter 6, but I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. To one who strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. And from one who takes away your cloak, do not withhold you. It's yeah, so yeah. So yeah, that's still I would say that applies. It obviously doesn't apply to what's going on here, but into the wider discussion as to what we're having.
Right.
Um
Yeah.
it's the
Okay. So
idea
it's
of
like
yeah, if someone's mean to you, don't you don't have to be mean bad. It does. I mean, that goes to Gandhi, right? An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
sure.
Um, and it kind of does also fit in with what we were saying to an extent about bullying last week and about just ignoring it. Um, though this isn't quite that. Um, this is more. People might be mean to you. Still try and treat them with respect. Um,
I guess when you turn the other cheek to someone, it makes them reflect on what they're doing.
yeah,
You're
that's the
presenting your
idea.
other cheek. You're like, go on,
Yeah.
do it. And then they're like, oh, geez, I didn't
Yeah.
expect that one.
I mean, yeah. Again, it's like what I said about bullies last week, is they expect a reaction. Um, and yeah, and sometimes like you obviously these are unfortunately not often the case, but there are stories about like I can't remember who it was, but there was a guy who was he was a black man, and he um made friends with like a Klans member
All right.
of like the KKK. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this right. Again, I would search it up, but otherwise I'm just going to be here all day. But I'm pretty sure I've got this right. Um, and they met a few times and they just talk. Um, and obviously they had very different perspectives, but over like time, it kind of helped. Um, broadened what was a very narrow mindset. Um, and I'm sure that there's other examples of things like that happening where it can be very dangerous. It might not always work,
No.
but and obviously if someone is you know physically or gonna like harm you and stuff, then just probably try and stay out of their way, or call the appropriate authorities. But yeah, if it's like yeah, someone who, insults you in some way because of something you like believe or for who you are or something like that. Yeah, then yeah, turn the other cheek is definitely an appropriate thing in that situation for sure. Yeah,
I guess the
I'm sure
idea is
there's
just so that they
many.
can move forward and be a team again.
Yeah, yeah. So in this case, it's more forgiveness because yeah, if they can forgive each other and move forward, they can be a team together. They do not have to ex- be like, oh, it's fine. What you did was fair enough. That's not an issue at all. Because yeah, it wasn't. Um, but yeah, to move past it. Whereas yeah, turning the cheek would be more. To be fair, I mean that's kind of like to some extent what happens like later on with a very early Peridot, I would say.
Oh yeah,
Is when she's with them but she's still kind of like insulting them like
when
but they're
she's in the
not like
bathroom.
outrightly. Yeah, or maybe after that even. um like kind of, to be fair, like kind of again, and we'll get to this, like not entirely but kind of like how Garnet deals with Peridot in regards to fusion.
Right.
In like Peridot's like, oh, why are you two together? I don't understand it. And is quite upfront and mean about it. And Garnet does put her on a leash, it's true, but she's never like um outrightly like properly aggressive. um and like over time, Peridot like tries on the pants and she's like nice and stuff, and then eventually she's like, I can't remember the characters' names, but she's like, I'm like so and so and so and so from Campaigning Hearts, and then Peridot, gets it. Um, which again is a simplified thing, but it's the idea of just like, you know, hearing someone out and explaining your point of view. Um, and hopefully, you'll be able to change their mind. Um, and it's something that I, wish more people could do in regards to things that do not matter, like films and TV shows. Um,
Yeah.
where
Well, you
it would
can't.
be
You
lovely
can't.
if people could just have mutual discussions about things and walk away as uh, equals and not have to shout each other into the dirt. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
firstly, you can't put your point across very easily in 280 characters or less. So that takes Twitter out of the equation.
yeah,
And especially online, there is that little bit of lag, which and like issues which can make things
oh
worse.
for sure.
There's no
Yeah,
body language,
there's no facial expressions, there's no body
facial
language, there's
expressions,
no like tone of voice and stuff. Yeah, no, the internet is not a good place for trying to get points across.
and
Um,
yet that's what we're doing.
yeah, but
But
again, we are at
hey,
least using our voices, which is better than it just being all text, I guess. And again, those things can happen, but that was quite a tangent. Um,
it's true. It was.
very very interesting one, but yeah. Another point in forgiveness and accepting things is forgiving someone, like we said, does not make their mistakes um like disappear. They still happened, and again, your mistakes you should be aware to some extent, because they're part of you and you can learn from those. Um, and they should, help you in the future.
Yeah.
Um, like I doubt Pearl before this had ever really thought about like, yeah, I could just find a situation and then I can just repeat the situation. I can keep fusing. Like I don't think she ever thought that. But after this, there's absolutely no way that she's ever going to do it again,
Yeah. Exactly.
because she's had this experience. Um, yeah. So yeah, and as we're about to see in this moment right now, it also will give Garnet more of an understanding of Pearl, because as Pearl says, she's just a Pearl, and she still feels like she is useless on her own, and she needs, others to tell her what to do and give her orders. And it's clear that, Garnet, she's known Pearl for a long time, but kind of, because she doesn't see her like that, she sees her as a crystal gem. But Pearl still, sees herself like that.
Yeah. Back when, before they met Garnet,
Yeah.
it was just Pearl and Rose.
Yeah.
As the rebels. And how Garnet described her as the terrifying renegade Pearl, she was still sort of, Rose's,
As well as Pearl still, yeah.
like,
Still
side
belong.
character.
Mm-hmm.
But she was, how do I say it? Like, strong on her own, but at the same time still kind of dependent.
The thing is with Pearl is that she isn't strong for herself. Is she? She's strong for Rose, and now she's strong for Steven / Rose.
It's true. She's great at sword fighting.
Yeah.
But her real strength lies in her willingness in what she's willing to do on the battlefield to protect Rose and
exactly. Going back to Sworn to the Sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will do whatever it takes. My life does not matter. It's all about this person. Because my life doesn't matter because I'm just a Pearl. Yeah, and it's clear that she still thinks that. And she goes on to explain how, when they fuse, you do get you become a part of each other. And because Garnet is already a fusion, she gets to feel how Garnet feels, which is complete and, in sync and confident and
It's true.
all these things.
Rainbow Quartz 1.0 was always there.
Yeah.
Since they fused.
Mm-hmm.
As an embodiment of their Rose and Pearl's feelings for one another.
Mm-hmm.
But then Rose disappeared.
Yep.
So Pearl's sort of alone again, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And yeah, she's just like, I wanted to be a part of this, of the relationship, because, they're perfect.
So I guess even though she wasn't literally fused, she could be strong like a fusion.
Yeah.
Because she was in sync with Rose Quartz.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
It's like how Garnet said how Greg and Rose were fused.
Exactly. They all go together.
It does all go together.
It does. But yeah, but then obviously, yeah, while she does love Steven and care for him, it's not the same. And so she has to look for that, that relationship elsewhere. And again, comparing it to humans, if you are, obviously it doesn't quite compare, because if you are like someone who is single but wants a relationship, and you know this couple who are really close and they're perfect, you're gonna want that, and you're gonna be jealous of that. Obviously, you can't 99% of cases fuse with that. like that's where the comparison ends. But you can very easily
still
see
later.
how Pearl gets there and why she does want to be a part of well, Sardonyx.
Yeah,
But then Garnet's like, well, you're wrong because we came undone over this.
Garnet's not as perfect as everyone seems to think she is.
Indeed, which again comes back to what we've heard before with the
Yeah, we mentioned it a couple
everyone relying on
episodes
Garnet.
ago. They were relying on Garnet. We talked about that and how she
Yeah,
wears the mask, not only figuratively
indeed.
but literally.
Indeed. And then it's also good that Amethyst can hear all this because it's stuff that she does, and even Steven does need to hear as well.
It's true. I don't
Yeah.
think because we don't know what pearls are yet, do we?
No, we
That
don't.
comes later
Yes.
when
That's
Peridot and
a
Pearl are
Peridot
competing.
thing. Yeah.
But even in this episode, she still says, "I'm just a pearl." So that bit was
Yeah.
already planned, obviously.
It's very clear that pearls are seen as lesser at this
Yeah.
point.
I mean, Pearl isn't just a pearl
No.
because she's got multiple colors. White diamonds,
Yeah.
pearl.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because all the other pearls are just, It's a
She's
very
white
good point.
diamonds, pearl.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because roses, yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd either forgotten that or that had never really clicked. Oh, yeah, that's wow. Interesting. But yeah, Garnet again, and she should have just probably told people this earlier, but it's not really a thing that just kind of comes up. Is that yeah, I'm not perfect. I have weaknesses too, but I choose not to let them consume her.
I found that to be a weird sentiment. Is it that easy to just choose not to let such feelings consume you?
No, that's why she says it's a struggle.
That's true.
I know what you mean. I think what she's trying to just say is that there's times when she doesn't feel as strong or as confident or as Garnet like, I suppose, as she wants to, but she puts that aside and tries to move past that for the team. Is it healthy? Probably not. It probably would be best if she did that, but was also honest to the others in those situations. Because again, it is useful to talk about your feelings, and emotions, and not keep them all pent up inside you. But
Yeah, it's
again,
a while until
they truly do that.
pool
But then,
hopping.
yeah, gems aren't exact allegories for people, so that maybe why they're a
Yeah,
bit
no, of
in that
course.
sense as well.
They're an alien race.
Exactly. But Garnet goes further because she recognizes that you know Pearl doesn't just need to hear that this isn't going to be okay and go away. She's like being part of Sardonyx clearly made her feel better, and now that that's stopped and it's stopped in such an abrupt way that she's probably feeling worse. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so beyond just the wanting to make everything better, she's also just trying to do all these things and all this stuff to try and be just more than a pearl. But Garnet's like, you're not you know useless this time, so I look up to you. for strength, and you're your own gem.
Exactly. Remember Coach Steven?
Yeah.
Where Tsuga like was physically strong, but Pearl had that sort of mental resilience.
Indeed.
Strong in the real way sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And luckily, this whole time Amethyst and Stephen had been stopping the contraption from closing anymore.
That's true.
Good job,
Otherwise, they
guys.
would not have survived that long segue we
Otherwise,
went
they've
on.
not survived this long. Yeah, but the thing breaks, but Garnet and Pearl finally do manage to. I mean, I do. Garnet says there's only one way out of this, and Pearl still does ask permission.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense. But think about it. It's like, this is, if you don't do this, you're gonna die because assumedly this thing's just gonna get smaller and smaller until the gems are crushed. We don't know that for sure, but it's a fair assumption. So Pearl is almost, I think it's like, seems here to be like, if you're not okay with it, then I can't force you. Guess this is it. It was Garnet was never going to be like, actually, after I've just said there's only one thing for it, no, I'm not okay with it. But
Yeah.
it's still nice that she does ask.
It's a good sentiment there.
It is a good sentiment. And it's a good sentiment about consent as well. Again.
Yeah. But
Quite
indeed,
young
they do
audience, but
fuse.
they do fuse, and it's good. And Amethyst and Steven just like panic.
Panic mode.
But then Sardonic appears with drill hammer.
With drill. They don't. Sonics doesn't say anything, but
She doesn't say anything. She's just there for a second.
yeah. And then after that, they look at each other because I remember fusing allows very sort of personal access to each other's thoughts and stuff and feelings.
Yes.
So perhaps they understand each other greater through that fusion, that split-second fusion.
Yeah. In a strange sense, now that you mentioned it, if they had fused after all this had happened, it would probably have solved a lot of problems.
Oh, geez.
Because of how they would have been able to, understand each other's thoughts and everything, but at the same time that wasn't the point because the fusion was messed up in the first place. And also you've got to be in sync in order to be able to fuse, so it wouldn't have happened. But yeah, that's interesting to think about.
That is an interesting thought.
But anyway, they finally managed to locate Peridot. And she's like, "You fools, this is only the beginning of my escape." And then she mistakenly very slowly hovers away and decides to gloat instead. Which results in Stephen catching a Peridot, as Stephen says. And we get to hear one of her amazing human anatomy descriptors of touch stumps.
Yeah, we get a lot of those later.
We do. And he bites her foot, and then everyone else grabs on, and they all pull.
Teamwork, kind of.
Teamwork, in a way. But she detaches her foot.
I can't believe she escaped after what was such a good one-liner from Garnet.
Yeah.
Your flight's been cancelled.
It's pretty great.
It was good. But instead she detaches her foot.
She does. No one could have seen this coming. Unless you I don't know. I really zoned in on the whole tech thing, or you've got like future vision. But,
yeah. I mean Garnet doesn't know about all of this new tech.
Exactly.
Didn't know about the destabilizer.
Like, damn it. She got away. But Pearl's like, it's okay. Next time we'll get the rest of her. Right, Garnet? That's a good step forward. And then we end on Amethyst being like, yay, finally. At long last, it's happened. Because it has very much seemed like she's been like the most grown up for the last couple of episodes.
It's true. Although perhaps Amethyst is thinking in the wrong way if she's like, thinking, at last they've got back together so home life can be normal again. Instead of...
Indeed.
I don't know.
Based on how she's reacted to it, I think she's had her mind in the right place.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
She was mainly worried about Steven and how it was affecting him and also each other.
Yeah.
At least that's how it seemed to me. But that is our episode.
That is friendship.
And that is where we will have to leave it today.
It's true. We spent a while on that one.
We talked on friendship for a while. Yeah.
Whoops.
But that's okay. Next time, Nightmare Hospital, which is
That's a good episode.
Another good Connie episode, and I don't remember what's after that.
Sadie's song,
which is another good episode.
Well, we do see Barb's,
yeah. Indeed. Yeah, join us next time for that. But until then, thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
After that one is catch and release, which I imagine we're not going to do.
Oh, yeah, we better
wait on that one.
Yeah, better wait on that one. So yeah, that's what's next time. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cabincast. For more episodes, go to www.cabincast.podbean.com or use the Podbean app. You can now also find us on iTunes and Pocket Casts under Cabincast and on YouTube. The uploads there are quite behind. Finally, you can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Cabincast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.